Hello, welcome or welcome back to Life on the Fringe. Today we're going to be talking about weddings. Specifically, I wanted to share some of the things that we did for my wedding that I thought might be of interest to you, some of the customs my family has, some of the ideas I saw online and tried out for myself, as well as some of the things I learned and just kind of want to share with you for anybody who's planning a wedding, or if you're just interested in weddings in general the way that I am. I thought I would share it with you. So we got married in the church this year on June 12th, 2021. We did have a wedding last year. It was a pandemic wedding. It was a garden. It was a secular ceremony. If you want to hear more about that, I have a video up on my channel now. I'll link it up here. One thing I want to mention before we dive into this is you'll see a lot of pictures of us from the back. That's because Stan doesn't show his face on this channel if you're new here. So this picture is pretty much as much of his face as you're going to see. On top of that, we're going to be focusing more on the customs and stuff, so you'll see less of our pictures and more of pictures of the stuff that we're doing. So of course we did the age-old, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So as you can see, I have my wedding dress hung up. That's new. In fact, I customized it a lot. I added the sleeves. I also put a crinoline underneath it. As you saw in the last picture, it's quite poofy. But originally, it was a strapless dress with a different belt than the purple one I have, and I'll get into that in a sec, and more A-line shaped. For my something old, pretty much old and borrowed, I've never understood why they make it separate. So I used, the oldest thing I have might be the handkerchief, which was my great-grandmother's. The crown was my grandma's. Originally it was shaped in a circle like a tiara. My Aunt Phyllis also used it, then my mom used it, and then I used it. So it was really special for me to be able to borrow that and use it in my ceremony. I also used my mom's wedding shoes, which she put the appliques on herself when she got married, and I just thought they were really pretty, and it was just another special thing. I like borrowing things, and connecting people at the ceremony is going to be kind of a running theme of the wedding. And then for new, I have my wedding ring. Now the diamond wedding rings, those I've had and have been wearing since my wedding last year, but the blue ring, my something blue, is new this year, and I've pretty much not taken it off since the wedding. I've just been wearing it on my right ring finger, just because it kind of feels like a wedding ring now, because I wore it for the ceremony, and we didn't get a third ring for this year. We just had the engagement ring and the wedding band from last year. We just used them again. So yeah, I also really liked having the blue ring. If you're trying to figure out what to do with your something blue and you don't want to use a garter, I think jewelry is a good way to go. Our colors were not blue. We had purple and green, but the blue ring did not stand out enough to detract from our color coordination. And it was just really a way to honor the tradition and have something that I'm going to be wearing for a long time in the future, versus a garter belt that I'm going to wear once. I don't know. Just a suggestion, and we got it super sale at Kohl's, because Kohl's cash, plus their jewelry is always on sale. It's a life hack. Speaking of things that we wore to kind of make our wedding special to us, my mom got these couplings for Stan when he graduated from Penn with his doctorate degree a number of years ago. So it was really cool that he chose to wear them for his tux. My mom felt really honored, and it just was special, and it's also where we met, so I don't know. It was just a cool little tribute. And again, yeah, our colors aren't red and blue, but it wasn't noticeable enough to the outside world. It was just something special to us. One thing that I really recommend especially if you're gonna have like a traditional, like religious ceremony, is having a wedding program. Even if you aren't, I think it gives people something to do before the ceremony. You can have it as secular as just listing who's in your bridal party and maybe something about them. Stuff that you could really like copy and paste from your wedding website. Ours is a little more formal than that. We had the wedding readings that we picked out. We included lyrics to a hymn that we were singing. We put in like when to sit, when to stand, which if you've ever been to a Catholic ceremony, bless you, because sometimes, and I go to mass, like it's still confusing. So it was just nice, and I think it made people feel more at ease. And it was a good way to like honor people who were like doing stuff in the church. So in addition to like, you know, the bridesmaids and groomsmen, we had altar boys, we had readers, we had greeters, and it was a great way to like give them a shout out too. Speaking of things we did at the ceremony, this isn't really like something special or like a custom or anything, but one thing that I'm glad we did that my mom told me to do is to not have the ring bearer actually hold the rings. So we gave the rings to the, you know, maid of honor and the best man to hold on to, and then my ring bearer Brody carried like the ring security sign, and it was so like cute, and it still was very special. But I wasn't like anxious about where the rings were. Not that I think he would have lost them, but the handing them over, they could fall on the ground. It just like, my mom, what she did for her is she had fake rings and put them on a pillow so you can still have that look. But then the bridal party actually had the rings. So I don't know. Something I'm glad we did. Another thing that we did, because while yes, you know, vaccines are out and whatnot, we still had masks at the church. It wasn't required, but we just weren't sure like where vaccines were gonna be in June when we were planning. So my grandma made all of these masks for the groomsmen and the bridesmaids, and I definitely wanted to be able to use them, and also it doesn't hurt to wear them. But what was really cool is it actually was another way for me to match my bridesmaids' outfits, because we put on this like thin layer of lace that was the same color of the dress, and that brought lace into their outfits, and my dress is all lace, so it was a nice way for us to coordinate in just a small way. But if you are going to use masks, I do recommend getting like matching masks. I know most people probably would anyway, it's pretty common sense, but it's something that I think made the mask less intrusive. So one thing, this is a tradition that we have in our family, is when you exit the church, rather than throwing rice or blowing bubbles, is my family toasts Krushkevats. So we have shots set up, and everyone takes a shot, and then when the bride and groom, like Stan and I, come out of the church, everyone took a shot to cheers to our happiness and to our marriage. And I just thought it was like very fun. A, like we have a family drink. B, it's like a family tradition. But even if you didn't have this tradition before, I would recommend it if your venue like allows it. Rice sometimes is banned. I know we couldn't use rice and we couldn't use bubbles at the church because the rice would get everywhere, it'd be a big mess, so they wouldn't allow it, and then the bubbles would make the grounds too slick, so they were worried about liability. So they were okay with this, and I don't know, this is a little bit more fun for the guests. And we also took a shot too, but anyhow. Now, this is something I really liked, and we got a lot of compliments on this. So we, for our guest book, had, as the guests came in, had them take Polaroid pictures with us. So each like group of people would get one Polaroid picture, and then we slid it into a photo album where they had like, you know, the space where you can write in your notes. In that space, that's where they signed their names. And that way we got everybody's signature in the guest book and a picture of every person at the wedding. And it was also just a cooler guest book thing for me because I like scrapbooking. I love photo albums, so pictures to me are like very cool. And speaking of pictures, something else that we did is we had people send us their wedding pictures, and then we framed all of them and put them on display so people could like look for their wedding picture or look for their parents' wedding picture, see like their cousins, their friends. So we did it with just like the family we invited, like people in our extended family. We did their weddings. We didn't do friends, like family friends. We just did our family to kind of show like that we're adding our picture to the pile, like we're extending our family. We included both sides of our families, again, showing that we're now like one. And people like did look at these a lot, and I think it made people feel a little bit more connected. At least that was our intention, was that people could see themselves in the wedding. Another tradition that my family has is this German myth retelling. So, as you can see, there's this cup over here. The way the myth goes is there was like a princess who was loved by everyone in the land, but her father didn't think that anybody was good enough for her. So people kept propositioning him to have her hand in marriage, and he kept saying no, 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 no. Then he devised this challenge to figure out who would be the most worthy suitor. So his challenge was he would allow her to get married to someone who loved her enough to create a glass that could be drunk out of by both of them at the same time. And so at the wedding, you have to drink out of the glass at the same time. Another like traditional piece that we have, so we have this cake cutter. It's kind of hard to see in this photo. There's not really a great photo of it because it's a reflective surface, but engraved into it are my grandparents' names and their wedding anniversary date, my parents' names and their wedding date, and now our names and our wedding date from last year. And we cut the cake with it, and my Uncle Chris and Aunt Lisa, their names, their wedding date, and then my sister's weddings will go on to it, and it'll just be this piece of like family history all on a little cake cutter. And it's just very cool that it comes out just for like these big weddings, and it's a way to like document the growth of the family. I don't know, it's very cool. This is something cool. I don't think it's a tradition necessarily, but my friend Andrena, when she gave her maid of honor speech, one of the things she did was ask everyone to, now that we're like married, to turn in the keys to our place, because it's our place, it's time with everybody else. So it started with like one person standing up, our friend Francisco, and he stood up with his key, and we thought, oh haha, Francisco is very funny, and he also doesn't mind like doing something like that. But then more and more people started standing up, and then they came over and they actually did have keys. And it was just like this really fun surprise. It was so funny, and everyone got up out of their seats, and it was a good way to see everybody. It was just like a really cool like move. If you want to just steal this for your speech, if you're giving a speech at a wedding, do it. It was so funny and so fun, and we had no idea it was coming. It was just really cool. It was very cool. If you want to do something similar, I highly recommend it. So another tradition is when you get to the reception, a Czech tradition is someone will break the plate. So Stan's mom broke a plate, and then the bride and the groom have to sweep it up together. And it's about like solving problems together, cleaning up your messes together, working as a team. So this was our break the plate ceremony, and it was so fun and very exciting because it's quite loud and they go everywhere. So it was cool. It was very cool. I had never heard of that before, but I really liked it, and I'm glad that I got to be a part of it and to start doing more of Stan's family's traditions. Another tradition is this sweetheart dance. So my godmother put on this like apron with a bunch of like baby things, and then Stan got this like lumber apron with a bunch of baby things and some tools. And then people got around us in a circle and we danced, and then they would come in and come out. And as a way to like bless our growing family. It was really cool. It was like a really like neat thing and a special thing to do with my godmother. The other thing you'll notice is that Stan got out, we changed outfits. So I had a reception dress. Stan also wanted a reception outfit, so he got a snazzy custom purple tux jacket. I think it looks really cool. We picked out that fabric together, this place called Enzo in Philadelphia. We got to like swatch fabrics, we got to pick the design of the collar, that fabric, the inside. There's a lot of like hidden gems to this jacket, and I really like it. We had a grand march, which is basically like a big conga line led by like the bride and groom, that ends with taking a shot. And for the shots, my chef, who also ran our bar, was willing to let us pick out like family drinks. So we were able to get shots of Kruševac and Goldschlager, which are the two sides of my family's favorite drinks. So people could like go up and pick either Golden or Kruševac from like the waiters, and at the end everyone has a shot and we all take the shot together. And it was really fun. They were like standing in the middle. It was like really like cool. These are the pictures of some of our shots. These are both Kruševac, which is a Croatian drink. My family, part of it is Croatian, so this is one of our go-tos. And then in addition to that, I mentioned the sweetheart dance. We did a couple other a couple other customary dances. So obviously we had first dance, mother-son, daddy-daughter dance. We had a second like surprise dance, which I might make a whole video about because it was like an experience. I think there's video of it. I'll show it to you. It's gonna be its own thing. We also had an anniversary dance, which is where all the married couples go onto the floor, and then the DJ starts announcing like, if you've been married less than a day, get off the floor. So the bride and groom move first. If you've been married less than 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30, whatever, and there's fewer and fewer people, the years get closer and closer together, so you can determine who's been married the longest, and then they get a prize, in this case a bottle of Kruševac. We also did a couple of custom dances, so of course we did a polka. We also did a Croatian kolo, which is where you join hands in a circle, and it's like a routine, like a line dance, but in a circle. So we had practiced that at our rehearsal dinner with our bridal parties so that people could participate in it. And it was really fun. I really liked that. And then at the end of the night, instead of doing a grand exit, because we wanted to stay and enjoy the thing, we didn't want to do a fake exit and then have people leave. We just wanted to be there the whole time. So for the last dance, we picked a song, I Could Have Danced All Night from My Fair Lady, which is one of mine and Stan's favorite movies. And we did a dance to that. Both of us really enjoy like ballroom, so we danced, everyone was in a circle around us. It wasn't planned, they just spontaneously got into a circle. But it turned into like a special dance, and I'm really glad it happened that way. It was a really nice way to wrap up the evening, and then we bowed. Now, going into some of the smaller details, I kind of wanted to draw attention to a few things that we did that I thought worked out nicely if you're interested. So, as you can see, there's that purple cloth underneath our centerpiece. First of all, first thing to note, we used artificial flowers. So we used the same flowers as we used last year, and I'm keeping like a number of them for like our apartment to use. Like for decorations and florals, and personally I think it's great. We did post them, some of them, for sale on Facebook Marketplace. We've had like moderate interest, but I don't know. It's not like been super easy, and they're all in Indiana and I'm in New Jersey, so it's been a little bit complicated. So I don't know that you would necessarily like make your money back with artificial flowers, but you certainly get more for your money than real flowers in terms of the longevity of the use, how much you can reuse them, and the durability. They're also cheaper than real flowers. But I know people really like real flowers, so it's your choice. But I really liked how they turned out, and I think they look really nice. But anyhow, so the purple like circle thing, that's just like a placemat that I got off Amazon, and it was a great way to bring color to the cocktail hour space, because at our place the cocktail tables did not come with tablecloths. So I was able to draw in more of our colors to that space using the placemat, and I really like how it looked. The other thing that we got for a really good deal was the picture frame table numbers. The picture frames literally from the Dollar Tree. God bless the Dollar Tree. And then the table numbers I got off of Amazon, but you could easily print your own, and then you have like nice looking table numbers for like $1. So I don't know, just something to keep in mind, because sometimes table numbers are ridiculous. And we had ordered like other table numbers, but they didn't come in time. Like I had ordered them like well in advance. They didn't get there in time. So this was like a pull together at the last like 3 days type thing, and it turned out really nice. And then the other thing that we did, as you'll see in the picture on the right, is we have these little hearts. Those are ornaments that we made. We bought the hearts off of Amazon, then we drilled a hole through, ribboned it, painted it, stamped it. It says happily ever after with a dove. And then on the back it has our date and our names. We used ornaments as our party favors for a few reasons. First, in terms of like the traditions, my parents had wooden dove ornaments as their wedding favor, and I thought it'd be cool if we could each have like our own ornament. I also carried the dove through in terms of like my stamp, so that we kind of like coordinate together. Second, Stan and I collect ornaments. We're like big into Christmas, so we thought it would be a good way to like represent us. It suited us, in addition to being like something my parents did. And then lastly, it's a really like personal touch doing something DIY. We did not do a lot of DIY for this wedding. Personally, we just basically did these ornaments and a couple of like the programs that I'll talk about. But with the ornaments, it was something that they could take home with them that we made together, and it just felt like something a little bit more than other wedding favors. But at the same time, other wedding favors are going to look nicer. You could get like ornaments that you pre-buy. DIY is not for everyone. It's just something that I like to do. We also made for the table 2 pieces of paper. We had more than 2 copies on each table, but 2 different documents. One of them was kind of like an order of events for the evening, so people could kind of know when they wanted to leave. We had a shuttle running from the reception hall to the hotel, and that way they could time like, okay, well, I've seen the first dances. I really don't care if I stay for the grand exit, so I'll just leave. I don't care if I stay for such and such. It was just like a way to keep the order of events flowing. And then for the second like smaller purple piece, those were lyrics to this German song. So the DJ would play the song and everyone would sing the lyrics. Then at the end of the song, you cheers your drink and you take a drink. So this church, my great uncle, maybe my great great uncle, made by hand, and it's a place to put the cards. I just think it's really beautiful, and it's been at every church-related event. My parents had it at their wedding, I had it at my communion, I had it at my confirmation, I had it now at my wedding, and I plan on using it for my kids' baptisms. It's just like this piece that is filled with a lot of great memories, as well as serving a functional purpose of keeping the cards from going everywhere. I made these little tinted cards for the cookies. So we had a cake, and that was from a bakery, but then my grandma, my Aunt Phyllis, my Aunt Chandra, my Aunt Stacy, a bunch of people made cookies for the wedding, for dessert, for people to nibble on through the night. And we put the name of whose the recipes was originally, and then what the name of the cookie was. And so some of these, my great-grandma Mary's, she didn't make them, my grandma made them, but it's her recipe for the butter cookies. And it was just a way to extend back in time and remember where these recipes came from, as well as just giving credit to people who did something for our wedding. So my mom's dress, we ordered more fabric, same fabric as the dress, and we turned that into a belt for me to wear, and then a bow for me to wear, and a bow for my flower girl to wear, as a way to tie everything together. And it's a really cool way to honor my mom, and also connect to my flower girl, all of our stuff going together. I know it's a little obsessive, but I just really like stuff like that. I really like things matching. And another thing that we did to have everyone match, that you can see in this photo, is I tried to have everyone have a V-neck to match my dress. As you can see, my flower girl dress, Jordan, her dress has the V-neck, and she has lace to match mine. And then the belts match. My mom's dress has that same V-neck, the same deep V as my dress. We also both are wearing pearls. Looking at the bridesmaids' dresses, they have a deep V. You can't see it super well in this photo, but each of them had a pearl that I had got them, a pearl necklace, just a singular pearl, and matching pearl earrings, so that we were all wearing pearls. A tradition in my family is that you wear pearls at your wedding, and I wanted to share that with everyone and have that be their thank you gift to keep, so they could remember the wedding. I also thought that they would be more likely to wear that than some of the other things I saw online for bridesmaid things. And I also didn't want them to have to invest in buying jewelry for the wedding. I'd rather just get them the jewelry for the wedding, since they already had to buy the dress. One thing that I didn't care at all about was shoes. I just made sure they all had nude shoes, and other than that I was whatever. I don't care. And I really recommend that, because people were able to wear shoes they already had broken in, already owned, and people were on the dance floor all night, and I really think it helped to some degree, being able to wear whatever shoes you want. That's basically some of the small things we do for our wedding. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to this about customizing a Catholic Mass, but if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our content, click subscribe, ding the bell button to know when we post, or just every day. Most importantly, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!